this word became synonymous with first century life. It truly reflected their attitude. This is pornea. I'm just talking about the word pornea. It became synonymous with first century life as it truly reflected their attitude toward adultery. And this is from Demosthenes, a Greek of that day. Their attitude toward adultery. We keep mistresses for pleasure, concubines for day-to-day needs of the body. But we have wives in order to produce children legitimately and to have a trustworthy guardian of our homes. Their attitude toward divorce. Roman women were married to be divorced and were divorced to be married. Some of them distinguished the years not by the names of the consuls, but by the names of their husbands. Seneca is a Roman historian. Their attitude toward family. Caligula lived in incest with his sister Drusilla, and the lust of Nero did not even spare his mother Agrippina. Suetonius. Their attitude toward those of the same sex. It were better not to need marriage, but to follow Plato and Socrates, and to be content with the love of boys. Lucian. Of the first 15 emperors, Claudius was the only one of whose taste and love was entirely correct. Gibbons in the history of the church. Does it require much insight to see that this word has come to reflect life in the 21st century as well? Adultery is considered inevitable, even acceptable by many. Divorce has been made no fault. Families have been torn asunder by incest. Homosexuality has become an acceptable alternative lifestyle. And in America, if you oppose it, in America, if you were to stand up and teach what I have this morning, you would be liable to be imprisoned. And this is coming, I think it's the 30th of June, the Supreme Court decision is to be handed down. And that Supreme Court decision is expected to legitimize homosexual marriage and to legitimize prosecution against anyone who would speak against that sort of behavior. And it's just as bad as adultery or murder or thievery. Indeed, the works of the flesh are as rampant today as they were in the first century. As we continue, we see other words that remind us of the times in which we live. Akatharsia, which is translated uncleanness and impurity. The etymology of the word, it originally had reference to dirt or dirtiness in a physical sense. So if something needed washed, then it was akatharsia. In the Greek Old Testament, it is used to denote ritual and ceremonial impurity, which made it impossible for the worshipers to approach God. It then came to be used in a moral sense of that moral depravity which disgusts the person who sees it, filthy behavior. Three ideas are therefore inherent in the word. The quality of that which is soiled and dirty. Some minds are like that. A person has a dirty mind if he has architecture. And impurity, when there is a repulsive quality that awakens disgust in those persons who are decent. So it is disgusting to common morality. It's dirty. That which separates men from God. In contrast, compare Matthew chapter 5 and verse 4. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 4. Thou hast a few names, even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. There appears to be a progression of thought in the order of these words used by Paul. While pornea indicates sin within a specific area of life, akatharsia indicates a general defilement of personality tainting every sphere of life. The next word indicates a love of sin so reckless and audacious that one has ceased to care what God or man thinks of their actions. Aselgia, which is translated lasciviousness, licentiousness, sensuality. The basic meaning of the word in the New Testament seems to be linked with sexual excess in a public way. Barclay distinguishes three characteristics of this sin. It is wanton, and undisciplined action. It has no respect for the persons or rights of someone else. It is completely indifferent to public opinion and to public decency. The general idea is one of shameless behavior. Thayer defines this word by giving these examples: filthy words, indecent bodily movements, unchaste handling of males and females. This word is one that best describes what is often seen in much of modern dance music and theater, what goes on at many concerts and on many talk shows. The context, which is often found in the Scripture, it helps to understand this word.